Hi, I am MedioCore and today I will explain how GTA San Andreas inspired the language of a generation.
What's up?
This video will contain strong language to get its point across, and if that's not your thing, that's perfectly okay. With that out of the way, let's get into it.
Keep up, motherfucker!
The year is 2004. George Bush was just re-elected as the President of the United States.
Oh shit, here we go again.
It may not look like it now, but in 2004 this game was a big deal.
Ride, motherfuckers!
It was the most sold game of that year and it remains the best selling game of all time for the PS2.
What you thinking, fool?
This game is a childhood favorite of mine. Yes, you heard that right, childhood favorite. I can hear you ask, why was I allowed to play this game? Where were my parents?
Divorce.
Stop laughing.
This game was very popular with kids back in the day and it had a following of 10-year-olds so large that it would make PewDiePie blush. This is due to the fact that no game was as ambitious as GTA San Andreas was during its time. You could say that GTA San Andreas was way ahead of its time. Almost too ahead. This game won numerous awards which forced parents to buy the game for the kids' affection. The game had a mature rating because of the violence, themes and the language that was used. You can imagine that this game was pretty controversial, and some parents were worried that it might influence their kids. Despite that, the mature rating was largely ignored by the consumers, and rightly so. This game was a great choice. You could do anything in this game. You can dance, illegal street racing, betting on digital horses, taking out your anger when you lose betting on horses, going on unprovoked gang wars, kill drug dealers for money,
Got that sticky icky, homie?
getting buff in 3 sessions and then overeat because you missed your protein quota, and going on dates with beautiful women.
Hey, how you doing?
Not to mention, this game taught us a lot. It taught us how to drive, how to be patient with your friends, how to grow a beard out of nowhere at a barbershop,
No.
how to say no to drugs.
Dog, I got quality shit right now.
It taught us to prepare for the housing crisis. And most importantly, it taught us how to talk to women.
Yeah, bitch, I'm down for show.
The game even taught me how to fly fighter jets at the age of 10. Another reason why GTA is remembered so fondly is because of the story. You play as Carl Johnson, whose street name is very original.
It's me, Carl.
CJ.
The first part of the game lets you play as a gang member, doing gang member stuff like gang wars, hanging with the homies, gang wars, and getting chicken. Also gang wars. You're being constantly harassed by CJ's brother Sweet, who is the leader of their gang, the Grove Street Families, acronym GSF. The GSF are the heart and soul of the first part of the game. CJ is constantly berated for leaving the gang where they needed him and his brother never lets him live it down. His 2 best friends are Big Smoke and Ryder, they are also part of the gang. The norm for communication in the gang is almost always colorful language. The Grove Street Families gang can be seen as the in-group for the player. An in-group is a social group to which a person psychologically identifies as being a member. Members of in-groups are likely to hate the out-group, in this case that will be the rivaling gangs. Members of in-groups are likely to adhere to social norms of the group, in this case being violent and using colorful language. But that's not all! When later in the game fecal matter hits the fan, CJ is forced to re-evaluate his priorities and rise above the entrapment of gang life. While his brother is mortally wounded and sent to prison, CJ rebuilds the GSF from the ground up. It becomes clear that CJ is one badass motherfucker. This is also where the problems for parents of the younger arise. GTA San Andreas at the time of release was played by a ton of younger kids, who are more impressionable. GTA San Andreas uses a gang setting and as a result, the norms of the gang are eternalized by the younger player. They'll think gangs are cool and they'll try to conform to the norms that the gangs have. They are more likely to copy words and slang used by gang members. On top of that, since GTA San Andreas was such a good game for its time, a lot of players spend a lot of time on it. There was no game like this out there in terms of quality in this day and age. Consequently, players spend a lot of time with CJ. Because CJ makes an impression on the impressionable and is the protagonist of the game, CJ becomes a model. Jesus Christ, not that kind of model. I mean a model like in social learning theory. In short, this theory by Bandura states that people learn from a person or a character they look up to, sort of like a role model.
That's my brother. Get a car, we'll meet you out front.
If someone has a role model, it's likely they will mimic their behavior and follow their lead in norms and values. Because people spend a lot of time with CJ and build a bond with him over the course of the game, CJ becomes that role model, for better or worse. In conclusion, GTA San Andreas created a generation of potty mouths by making a gang, the in-group, that kids liked and wanted to be a part of, so they conform to their norms of vulgar language. On top of that, CJ can be seen as a role model, and because CJ uses quite the colorful language himself, it's likely that kids will copy his words and use of language. And that is how GTA San Andreas changed language.